Oh man, Grim, I am mega bummed that I did not get a copy shot off the Skullabats then. That sounds like it would have been hella cash, and I probably would have at least bumped the game up to a 2.5 out of 10. Like, that actually sounds fun as fuck. Hello. Good morning? Good evening, everyone. It's by an act of divine providence. It's time to play a MegaManX 7 demo that just got released. That happened to be as soon as I was done with the MegaManX 7 for the first time. I'll take it. Honestly, I'll take it. I lost my train of thought. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so the MegaManX 7 demos. Should I transition over to the screen? I'm probably gonna lose audio if I put myself on screen. So the MegaManX 7 demos, we have two of them today. We have both prototypes from 2003. One is from February 2003. It was for some other some press event. I don't remember the exact name right now, but you know, an early showcase of MegaManX 7. It notably has a different UI. I had to do a little bit of testing just to make sure that everything works. And has a couple of missions in it. Then we also have the demo version that was available at E3 2003, which has all of the proper UI and at least a couple of the levels in it from what I hear. And the good thing about both of these is that I believe you do get the chance to play as X throughout most of the games. So, you know, it'd actually be pretty awesome to be able to play as X in X7. I'm starting to understand where a lot of the false marketing pretenses, the expectations came from. It's kind of rude to have, you know, the ability to play as X in the prototypes, but then, all of a sudden, you don't really get the opportunity to play as X through much of the actual game. Curious that. So, let's pause this crusty-ass music. I really, really hope that was the YouTube upload being kind of disgusting. Hey, there I am. And hopefully it is not my headphones deciding to shit out on me all of a sudden. So, let's see here. We have the press build. We got 2003 E3. We're just going to launch this one. You'll notice there's still a little bit of border on the emulator window we're using. I decided that, you know, yeah, I tried using a couple different ways to maybe get rid of that and have the full screen experience, but honestly, the kind of last-minute slapdashery that I was doing over the weekend, it wasn't going to happen. So you just have a little bit of a border. I'm sure nobody actually cares except for me. I care. It bothers me immensely. But we'll see what the demo trailer looks like, actually. It's very interesting that they so heavily go into... Wait, what the hell was... Hey, wait a minute. There were at least two things there that weren't in the final game. There were two things of X running down a circular section, one being definitely Snipe Anteater stage, and one being some other thing with like a rotating satellite that we just did not get in the final version. So, that sucks. Those would have been cool to have. It also would have been cool to play X in more places. Also, it's very interesting they have just this different kind of, you know, logo here. I mean, I could have just extracted the whole thing for this for my thumbnail. Damn it, I didn't think of that. I was only thinking of from the E3 Special Edition had this version of this. Anyways, whatever. I don't know. It's interesting. They kind of had the logo that looked a little bit more reminiscent of X5 and X6, but then they kind of decided to take the completely differently styled logo for the actual X7. I like the way that differently styled logo turned out for X7, but it's kind of nice to see almost a, you know, a parallel to what fans were used to at the time. Water. Good water. Alright. So. Do you remember when a gameplay demo is having X available during the intro stage, which you cannot do during the final game at all without external cheats? Yup. Snipe Anteater used to have a tube section, I guess. I mean, that, or at the very least, you would have actually been... you know, able to walk around the entire tube of his boss fight, because that's what it looked like to me. I wonder if something broke. I wonder if something broke by the time that they were trying to release the game. Yeah, the gold trimming is really nice on this logo. It's a very nice way of doing the old style logo. Did the emulator just crash? Wait. Oh, no, it did not. In fact, right, I forgot. I have to actually use the Okay, so this is going to be awkward for me because this is obviously a PS2 game. I have a 360 controller. I let the auto map take it. Let the auto map take the wheel. I did not feel like actually mapping everything myself because, you know, I just didn't have the time for that. Okay, so I think the volume there's good. Oh, hey, my headphones aren't freaking out, so it's just that YouTube upload that sucked. You'll see what Tank Farm is referring to. But yes, do excuse if my... That is not... Okay, that actually is the controls. Alright. So yeah, I'm gonna be controlling a little bit weirdly here. So I have to actually do the normal thing of having jump, shoot, and dash be bound to my my thumb. So yeah, excuse me if my my gameplay ends up being a little bit worse than usual. But it's pretty cool to have X here, though it is kind of already very apparent at how, like, just how good X's charge shot is. Good God. I wonder if it's going to be able to just decimate this Hornet in one shot. Okay, it wasn't quite that powerful. They actually gave this thing a pretty good amount of health, damn. Oh, I should have stood under that to see if it would have crushed me. Alright, well, I think there's another Hornet in the stage, right? X's logo is super squished. Yeah, it definitely is. I don't think I'm a huge fan of the old UI. I'm kind of glad they changed that. It looks a lot nicer in the actual, you know, retail version. Yeah, for some reason X got super squished, and then yeah, the bars don't even quite fit in their slots. It's certainly a choice. Mashing the hell out of the button. All right, crush me. Okay, no. It just explodes. All right, I'll take that. All right, 3D for the first time. I can understand why they removed it, given that Zero's the only one that can play this section. Yeah. Gotta take things away when you're, you can't have that cool 3D shootout scene when, Zero won't be able to slash backwards. Ooh, is that a bug? Hey! We got a draw distance bug! Hooray! We found a bug within the pre-release build! Yeah, though that was actually really cool to have, you know, a semi-2D fight section like that. A 2.5D shoot the background kind of section with X like that. It would have been really cool if that would, like, that's the kind of thing that I think the lock-on actually is really cool for. Otherwise, something like this, it's kind of obvious that, well, you know, I could just stand right in front of that thing and it couldn't hurt me. It is interesting. Having, like, the kind of normal button mapping, I kind of see how people work with something like B being... Something like B being dash, A being jump, X being shoot. Is this gonna retract, or have I found a soft lock? I will... Might have found a soft lock already. But yeah, I'm kind of getting the thumb rolling motion. Okay, good, we didn't get soft block. Hey, KR, what's up? Thanks for coming in and taking a look at this. This is really interesting content we have here. It's kind of fascinating to be able to play X here in the intro stage. Alright, X goes on to meet a whole bunch of nobody, except for the big scorpion boss. Alright, they hadn't figured out that cutscene yet. Standing Man, happy to join you for the pre-release X7 bonus MegaManX stream. You had a great Monday so far, coming out from Tampa, Florida. Nice. Yeah, you know, Monday has been alright. You know, there's a number of things on... Oh, damn. Number of things on my mind, but overall I'm happy to actually just be trying this out. It's really cool to... Oh, right, there's only one life in this whole thing. Alright, that's right. So we actually have to play and get on our A game. I will save once... I will use a save state once I get up to that point. High as fuck with your dad while you're watching this. Cheers. All right. That sounds pretty good. It's probably the best way to enjoy X7, honestly. So let's see. Also, the Japanese Rockman X7 version copy. The Japanese X7 copy. I mean, I guess... So, apparently this was, Yeah, there was actually a lot... Okay. Reset my brain. There was definitely a lot of it that suggested definitely being, you know, the trailers were in Japanese and such. And had a lot of katakana on there to kind of indicate as such. But as far as I could tell, at least what Protodude had said when he uploaded these to Rockman-Corner.com, he's the one who sourced this after all, not me. He said that this was some kind of, like, other press release, I think, for, like, a... what was it called? Like a World's Fair? No, not a World's Fair. It was some other kind of, convention in English? So I'm not sure exactly if... Maybe this was probably used both, you know, there in some Japanese convention and then sent to, you know, an English-speaking convention. And, you know, at that point, they just figure it's like, look, they don't... Look, we got a rep here. They can explain things. We don't have to have it in English. It's fine. Just put it out there, you know? But yeah, it is really cool that this is honestly, you know, we have... we uncovered media that might have otherwise been lost. Very weird X7 gameplay, where you get to play as X in the main area, or in, like, the intro stage. And a couple of other areas too, because there are apparently a couple of unique... Well, there's at least one mission that's completely unique from the base game. Doesn't exist... the area exists in the base game, but it doesn't have, like, the same structure, so they very heavily changed something at that point. Capcom USA Gamer Day press event. That sounds about right. Actually, yeah, I think that is what I wrote somewhere, and definitely what Protodude had said. You heard X death screen from X6 there. I guess they didn't have the VA done yet. Oh yeah, that is... Oh, well, I'm surprised neither of us pointed out earlier, but yeah, there ain't... There's a noticeable lack of "stop it! Ah, stop it!" that's going on. So yeah, they clearly didn't get the VA for X hired yet. Alright, let me do a save state then. So in case I die up there, we don't have to do all this again. So let's see, save state, save 1, there we go. Alright. Also, I noticed it earlier, but didn't have a chance to say it. Yeah, it still seems that even in this build of X7, they had the very wonky, like, wall dash jump physics, where you, like, catapult off the wall as if it's made out of rubber. And it just makes it very awkward to try to actually, you know, jump up a wall. Wish they didn't keep that in for the final game, but, you know, I suppose such is life. I wasn't the one designing X7, so what do I know? Not in my infinite wisdom. Alright, come on, big scorpion. Let's see how easily X blasts you apart. I imagine this is gonna be a piece of cake. So yeah, X definitely still has all of his damage. such a piece of cake, actually. I forgot just how invulnerable this guy is at all times. It's very annoying. And also the fact that I'm playing with my non-desired control scheme setup. It's very hard for me to hit the dash without accidentally also hitting the jump. Alright, well, that's why we have the save state. Yeah, no boss HP yet. I guess they didn't get around to that graphic. Makes sense considering what the HP graphic currently is for X, you know? It would make sense that they would still have the X6, you know, sound effects in place for right now, right? Like, you know, if they have it, it's good placeholder, that kind of thing. This is a little interesting that they didn't, you know, hire the voice talent first and, you know, or earlier and try to get that incorporated. It would have definitely helped as a selling point. Oh, well, actually, I'm not so sure. Would X7's voice acting have actually been a selling point for the game, or would it have been a kind of a, ooh, I'm gonna stay away from this? It's also definitely annoying that he's vulnerable to charge shots in this phase, but not the, not this one. Wait, that's just way easier. Okay, I just need to take the Axel approach to things. Okay. I don't remember that attack in the final version. That's interesting. And X looks straight at the screen saying, "You did it!" Is it just you, or does the boss have thicker outlines than the final game? I don't know. It's hard to tell because, you know, unlike what I streamed the other day for the X7 collection, this is obviously, or at least more obviously, 240p, you know, stretched to 1920 by 1080p. So you can definitely see a lot more artifacting and just the general lower resolution. So it might not be that the outlines are thicker in this version. I would probably guess that it's just that the modern X7 collection, you know, is natively 1080 rather than an upscaled 240 and just looks better. Yeah. I hope when we make X11, they make female Reploids, as in Master's Names. You had female ones for Amazon, Suntress, Virtual Lady, Tidal Wave Girl, Shinibi Trex. Yeah, we're still waiting on an X9 10 first. I mean, it's cool to have more female Reploids, honestly. There weren't too many in the X series, and then the Zero series came out with a good few, and, you know, I think they're very cool robots, and it helps break up the monotony of just a bunch of big dudes, and have a couple of, you know, you have a plant woman that really, really wants to kill you, and same thing with a moth. I like those a lot. Now, will I be able to remember any of their names? Probably not, but, you know, I can't remember any of the names past, like, X6, so... Alright, let's get Tank Farm done. Annihilate the enemies in time. Oh, that's not going to be a problem. So this is what Tank Farm actually is. It's the, from what I read on the Rockman-Corner website, it's basically the, you know, part of Flame Hyanard stage where you this part of Flame Hyanard stage, but instead of actually, like, what am I trying to say here? Instead of just the regular setup, you're going around and just trying to hunt Mavericks within 5 minutes. Whoa, almost fell off there. So yeah, this is the part that I think was just technically not in the final game, even though obviously they used this section over again. Well, if you're looking for said female plant-type robot, go look at Mega Man 04. What was her name again, Grim? You tend to remember the Reploids from that game a little bit better than me. I just know how to kill her. Hey, X, you wanna target this guy? There we go. I'm guessing that I probably did not do the order of this very well, so if I live, I'm probably gonna have to go back and find the guys that I missed. Or I'll be out of time by that point, and it won't matter. Who knows? It's kind of interesting to see this section done differently, though. I think this would have been a better way to do it compared to the actual game. Just because, you know, this gives us a reason to actually go around all of the platforms and search the whole area. I mean, they had the Reploid rescues to do in the actual X7, but I don't know. Most of them are kind of skippable. They're pretty optional, all things considered, in the final game. Okay, what's my camera buttons again? Okay, there they go. Burn to the ground is pretty good always. It will never not be funny. No matter how... And the harder you try to drive the meme into the ground, the funnier it gets. That's the best part of comedy. Alright. I need to be careful, though. I realize how low my health is getting. Yeah, Noble Mandrango, that's who I was thinking of. It's also kind of interesting now, you know, here without Axel's copy shot, I'm actually having to pay attention to those green plumes more. I think there was only like one time in the entirety of the actual final release that I actually paid attention to where those things were and what their timing was. Oh yeah, I hear that stacking explosion. That doesn't sound very good. I mean, I guess it's kind of a nice way of making a big enemy sound more, you know, triumphant. Have a more triumphant defeat noise, but it's definitely a little scuffed. Alright, I think we got one more platform in the back here that I didn't go for the first time. There's a good chance this level is thrown together for the press event. A lot of level geometry is copy-pasted. I mean, yeah, it's very much, here's, what, a 5x5-ish set of hexagon shapes, and we're just gonna throw some gas in between some of them. It definitely seems like it was just an easy thing to put together. Oh yeah, no compass. Huh. Good point. No compass in the final version. Oh, found you. It's very weird that those guys do not lock on very well. Oh, yeah, I didn't do this in the right order, did I? Didn't I kill that guy before? Alright, well, I missed the dash anyways. Oh well, we'll just do it in a more efficient order next time. Let's see. I don't know. Another Mega Man time things. In other Mega Man topics, what did I do this weekend? Well, this weekend I just kind of casually started playing. I started doing something like the challenges in the not the anniversaries, the Mega Man Legacy Collection 2, and it kind of reminded me that Mega Man 10 really had a pretty good challenge mode, all things considered. Like, the challenges there were actually well thought out. They got you to learn the weapons pretty nicely. And also, in the case of the first few of them based around platforming, like, you really had to get a good handle on Mega Man's physics. Otherwise, you were going to be sent into spike after spike after spike. They were mean. They were mean with the challenges in Mega Man 10. There was a lot of kind of, okay, make sure you jump at this exact correct height in order to, you know, get over the pit, but not hit the spikes kind of deal. Not stuff you would kind of expect to see on, you know, normal game development. But then again, this is also the same game that had hard mode. And, yeah, I also started playing that. I started playing Mega Man 10's hard mode with Proto Man. Wow, that it does not mess around. I mean, I've played hard mode before. I beat it when I was a lot younger, when the game was new. And, I played as bass, which that's already kind of working against me there, because bass in Mega Man 10, while is good, is definitely not, is definitely really hindered by his inability to, move and, shoot at the same time. I mean, he can still do the, you know, Mega Man and bass, I'm gonna jump while I, shoot kind of thing, but it's significantly less effective in Mega Man 10 because of the whole bass cannot double jump type of thing. Since he only has the one jump, his advancement is a lot slower, and it's a lot harder to actually dodge around things that come to you. But anyway, yeah, I started playing Mega Man 10 in hard mode as Proto Man, which double damage and or taking double damage and double knockback has. Oh, wow, I remember why I hated playing as Proto Man in Mega Man 10. But at the same time, I also am actually getting much more value out of the charge shot and shield than I used to. Like, just for example, Solar Man stage is a lot easier with having a charge shot because you can just, that stage likes to send a lot of the little missile launcher enemies that cling to the walls at you. And you can tear through both the missile they fire and, you know, them in one shot, which is really beneficial, something that Mega Man would struggle to do. And in the same vein, you know, also the solar flowers in that level, they don't quite die from one charge shot, but one charge shot and one pellet gets them done in, and for how many of them they throw at you in the level, it's pretty good to have. It's a good tool. Of course, versus Solar Man is another story. Proto Man is definitely a detriment in that case, because man, is he made out of glass bones and paper skin. But, you know, it's all totally doable with the right weakness order. I'm gonna hope that that guy just respawned. And that I don't need to go grab that guy. We do? Oh, well, I don't know. We'll try to double back. I guess there isn't a big target on his name, so I guess maybe he's bonus. But I would say so far in Mega Man 10 hard mode... Oh, hit the camera button. That was bad. The hardest one to do. Strike Man stage is just malicious. It has so many bullets being thrown your way. Many, many more than were in the original stage. Ah, oh, son of a bitch. There's just the one more there. Whatever. I think I'll just move on from the failure there. I'm not gonna come back and just to get that last guy. Yeah, so many more bullets thrown at you, so many more bouncing balls. And also, I mean, fighting Keeper. God, I hate Keeper on normal mode anyways. I don't know how to dodge the soccer ball very well. And then on hard mode where he goes even faster, it is just completely unfair. I had to use Water Shield to get rid of it. There was no way I was able to figure it out on my own. Let's see. Yeah, super hard mode, Mega Man 10 with Proto Man. Based on the double jump in Mega Man 10, that would break most of the level design. It's fair. I see why they removed it. It makes total sense, but it definitely makes bass a lot more awkward to play. Yeah, God save me when I get to Block Devil on hard mode. I'm pretty sure there was a time... Ooh, ew, I had a barf burp there. Ugh. I'm pretty sure there was a time when I was younger that I tried to play Mega Man 10 hard mode with Proto Man, and I'm pretty sure that I had to rage quit at some point in Wily's Castle. I wasn't able to get past certain things. I'm hoping the Block Devil wasn't it, but I'm thinking it might have been. Ugh, ew. Ugh, gross acid reflux. I feel like there's a chunk in my throat now. Alright, so we're rescuing people in ride armor here. Cool. Was I aware that I could destroy the Keeper's soccer ball with the Buster? You weren't until this year. I was aware that you can do that, but that thing just moves so fast that I find it unreliable to actually try to do. Okay, so that's my dash. This is my jump. Do I have any other tools at my disposal? Okay, so that's get out. Okay, so... Whoa, 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 whoa. That was weird. I was in the floor there for a second. Can I recreate that? No? Okay, it's just gonna awkwardly shunt me out. Okay, so no, I don't have any fun super attacks. That's a shame. I don't have missiles yet. Oh, no, wait. Yes, I do. There we go. It's the Y button. Wasn't there a help button there a second ago? As much as you love Mega Man 10, I normally think that game's hard mode is much worse than normal hard mode, or the normal mode X6. I can kind of agree there. Mega Man 10's hard mode is not, it's not great. It's not something I want to be doing routinely. I just haven't beaten it yet on the Legacy Collection with that, and I think it's honestly been 10 years since I have beaten it. But yeah, I can say that I've gotten a game over at least once on each stage trying to do it, and getting by each boss still was kind of scraping by the enamel of my teeth. Especially as Proto Man. It's not fun. I took on Pump Man first because I thought, oh, you know, maybe I can charge shot my way through his shield, and you know, maybe that'll make my life a little bit easier. Nope, nope. Your charge shot's strong enough to destroy exactly one water shield pulse, but it's not strong enough to actually you know, it's not strong enough to actually pierce through it. That's a luxury that you just can't afford. Oh, okay. They just packaged the Reploids in boxes, huh? Wasn't expecting that one. But yeah, I don't foresee myself coming back and playing more hard mode Mega Man 10 in the near future. Maybe if I'm really bored, I'll come back and do it as Mega Man or Base and just see how it is. But yeah, it's definitely messed up. Guitar to the Turtle, Mechanoid's legs with them Buster. Can't do that in the final. No, I think you could. I think I remember there being all those red circles in the final. I just also remember never bothering to switch off because it automatically goes for the head. It automatically locks onto the head first. It's just, like, you know, easier to do that, so why would I bother? Armored carriers. That's the truest shit I have ever heard. Welcome, Karenji Z. We're currently on mission 3 of 3 of the first one of 2 early releases I'm showcasing tonight. This is just a simple. This is a rendition of Vanishing Gungaroos stage. The same, a similar concept. I guess this is different, right? Because unlike in the actual Vanishing Gungaroo stage, there is no Reploids. Well, there are Reploids to rescue here, but they're not the main goal of the area. Oh god, there's all these crates I have to check for which ones I can lock onto, huh? Like this one. Well, damn, I guess that guy just dies, huh? I guess that begs the question, can I be locked out of being unable to complete this mission? Because I just have Reploids die on me? Alright, X, get out of there. At this point, I kind of don't doubt it, because there's kind of, like, not any left. I'm pretty sure I just got them killed. Doesn't make use of the compass to help locate the Reploids. To be fair, I don't think the compass was very useful in the previous stage anyways. I mean, it told me, like, you know, what direction I would be going in. But I don't think it actually assisted me with much of anything. There's no red circles on the feet on the turtles. Only target the head or tail on the final. Source, you played this game yesterday. Alright. Fine, I'll take your word for it. I guess we've proved that my memory sucks in previous streams, so I'll take your word on that. Huh. Yeah, I don't think they thought this mission through very well. You can just get soft locked here. Because I've definitely seen multiple Reploids die while wandering around this place a little bit too slowly. Well, that kind of stinks. Alright, well, cowabunga! Yeah, they didn't... It sums up X7 entirely, I agree. Alright, well, we at least completed one of the missions. I'm a little bit more excited for the E3 demo, because this was, even though these two demos were only 3 months apart, the E3 demo has not only the intro stage, but also at least 4 other Maverick stages. Now, granted, you don't get to actually fight any of the Mavericks, but you do get to at least see their stages, and so there might be a lot more to actually compare, and it could be more interesting, you know? So I'll just let this screen play for anybody joining us who didn't get the chance to see it the first time, and then I'll switch the ROMs over. Yeah, for a press event demo, this does not really do a great job at advertising the game, considering that there's already, you know, considering there's a soft lock baked into it. That's not good. And I mean, you know, the highway's a good, you know, demonstration, as we all know. Like, that's actually one of the better levels from X7 itself. The tank farm is, I mean, it's not cinema, but it's okay. Like, you at least get to, you know, blast things apart with X for a little while and feel a time crunch, which you don't ever feel in the main game. But yeah, then a lot of the other graphical type stuff is just not really so hot. The UI looks very funky. And also, like, you kind of already get the sense that, like, oh wow, like, X can kind of A, obliterate everything, and B, I don't really like to aim all that much. Like, it's, yeah, it doesn't really highlight a lot of X7, unfortunately. All right, so let's switch the ROMs over. So it's not change disk. I know that. I've done that before, and that completely borked the program. I don't think it's shut down. Is it just exit? This is my first time, like, actually using this emulator. I don't do much PS2 stuff. So I think I hit exit, shut down no, I don't want to shut it down. I think the shut down button's gonna shut it down. So settings, view, tools, help, folders. Maybe remove disk. Memory cards reinserted. I don't think that did it. All right, we'll just hit the exit and... All right, and we'll just relaunch it. A little bit unusual. I'm sure I'm doing that wrong. But yeah, onto the E3 demo. Also, the E3 demo does have a couple of cutscenes, though I also heard they didn't get the English VAs to do the dubbing yet. So, I don't know, just interested to see what they did with it. Axel gets to be featured more prominently, too. And this is translated as well. Also slightly different, too. It's actually showcasing the levels a little bit more. Not showcasing a great use of the camera. Again, look at that. We had the tube section that didn't make it into the final game. I swear they just didn't get the tube physics to work properly, and that's the only reason we didn't get it in the final game. And then they were just like, well, we don't have time to make Snipe Anteater's Arena different, so... You know, he's fine. You can just fight him on one half of the cylinder. That's okay. We got introduced to Axel there, though. That's cool. A slightly different rendition of the boss theme. It seems like they had some of the Sigma stages actually done at that point, because you got to actually see a little bit of one there. And they actually had all the bosses done at this point, so they were pretty close to releasing at this point. Interesting. Or at least the game itself was pretty much done. They had to actually bake the voice acting into it, but the actual technical parts of the game were done. So that's neat. And they got the cool guitars, the guitar lick here to take us into the intro. You gotta love it. More freeform camera in the demo footage. Yeah, it is kind of noticeable. There's a lot of locked-in stuff for the final game. Having the camera itself is almost pointless in the final game. You don't need to adjust it outside of a very few stages, which is probably for the better, honestly. Alright, well, they had the Japanese voice actors ready. That makes way more sense. Another case of Capcom going, I don't know, here Capcom of America, just hire somebody. Get the interns to voice this. Bam. I did like the little detail of how this mob boss guy is kind of dragging the case right behind him to show off his kind of, you know, simian nature. Anybody know enough Japanese to know if this is terrible voice acting or not? It sounds decent to me, but I have no idea what the inflections are supposed to be anyways. Well, all right. Oh yeah, and we get those abysmal PS2 loading times. Let's go! Yeah, they actually give a shit more in the Japanese version. You're right. Select. Alright, a security laser? How worthless. Attack when the it locks on to the closest enemy and it turns yellow. So, it's interesting. I looked back and like, wow, that's awkward grammar. What does it look like in the actual game? Attack when it locks on to the closest enemy. Like, they just removed the it, and it's like, oh. Or they just removed the, and just attack when it locks on. It's like, okay, I mean, I get it, but it still feels kind of odd to not explain things. Hello, Jeremy. What's up? We just started the E3 2003 Special Edition. We just got done with the previous 2003 press release, so we're gonna take a look at what the differences are between this and the actual final release of X7. Taking a notable page at how good is the grammar in this early translation. You must turn both security lasers off. You can switch the lock-on with R2. Or I could just shoot one and then the other. Crazy how that works. You must hurry so dash past the lasers while they're off. Press the directional button twice. Oh, hell no! Or use the square button. Yeah, that's what we're doing instead. I think it's actually kind of funny, though. One of the benefits of using this emulator is that because it's trying to read for a PS2 controller and I'm using a 360 controller, I can use the control stick to actually, you know, do movement instead of just the analog pad. But the control stick doesn't have command dash, so effectively, this is a good way to remove command dash from the game. Push and hold the X button. Alright, you're the boss. Oh, right, I forgot how this works. Back when the it locks on. Yeah, starring Pennywise. You're right. There should be there should be a little clown indicator when well, whenever you're playing this game, really. It should just be a mirror. Axel's bullets are always blue. Oh yeah, huh. I think he is just permanently doing double damage. Like, these guys are not that strong. Oh yeah, what's probably copy shot them. That's cool. They did have Axel's copy shot ready at this point. I mean, it would make sense that they would. It'd be kind of crazy if they didn't for this press release. Okay. I'll maintain that I was not close enough to get hit by that, but sure. Alright. I was curious if I could actually, because they locked on, if I could actually destroy them in this version of the game, but apparently not. Can you roll bombs like a bowling ball in the final? Don't remember that. I think I can. I just chose not to. I didn't. That was the pressing the copy shot button did that. I don't think I did that very much in my playthrough of the game. Excuse reflect your attacks. They sure do, and they're bound to kill me. I heard that you also still only get one life in this version of the game too, so I'm probably gonna die. And then, could that really be the exit? Yes, it could be, or it could not be. It seemed way too easy. Alright, look, you don't need to insult the fact that I got you down to like 2 health, Axel, okay? Gotta take what comes to you. Oh, that's... Huh. It's open. Can I... There we go. Odd. I couldn't get through the door there for a second. Wouldn't that be funny if they had the E3 release, but you just couldn't get past anything because they accidentally made the door just have full collision? That'd be embarrassing. Please tell me I'm through with the worst of it. Well, maybe, but then you get done with the highway stage and you return over to Flame Hyanard and... Oh, wait, you were talking about your current situation, not the game, Axel. Right. Zero! He's back! Yes! We love Zero! Alright, well, let's see if Zero did any more damage in this version of the demo. Maybe they gave him double damage during this, too. Ready? Kind of had a mini seizure. I didn't notice. I mean, I kind of noticed that, like, you know, the screen did some very odd kind of wobbling back and forth, but I figured that was intentional. Yeah. I can never understand why they said, yeah, you know what? This is how you should be dash jumping in MegaManX 7. That looks terrible. Alright. I don't remember how much damage these guys took in the original, but Zero's feeling pretty powerful. I see hit particles. I'm not seeing damage. Oh, okay. I actually have to... Was that what it was like in the original? Oh, no, I just wasn't I was stabbing a part that didn't have a damage hurt box. Okay. But a part that did produce particle effects. It's like how when you play TF2 and you hear the hit register sound effect, but you don't actually get to see the, you don't actually land a hit. Also very interesting. They changed, alright. They changed between the previous version of that we played to this version. Zero automatically dashed and got out of the way of the crashing Hornet copter, so that way you didn't have an awkward situation of your given Reploid of choice getting stuck underneath the geometry and awkwardly popping his way back out. Although, I don't remember Zero clipping into the body like this in the final game. I think that's something they might have also had to shore up at the end there. Yeah, I think you're right. I wasn't sure if that was just me or not, but I did notice Zero having a fourth slash felt a little bit different. I don't remember him having a fourth slash in the start of the game. I remember it just being a 3-hit combo like usual. But Zero is currently cutting through things. I feel like they definitely gave him the double damage treatment too, because I think I remember having a much, well, not a much tougher time, but a fairly tougher time doing that in the final game. Still, not the greatest showing for E3 if you can just stand under the Hornet copter and, you know, get your victory. And interesting, they made it so that way you couldn't fall with this Hornet copter down. Kind of a missed opportunity. I thought that it was a lot cooler to have the camera just moving down that way when you're, you know, right next to it. I mean, I guess they didn't want players getting stuck in the geometry, but, well, that's not cool anymore, you know? And what is the X series without a bunch of style points? Boring, that's what. Alright, come on, Zero. Does this thing have a hitbox? This thing does not have a hitbox. What the? If I jump, okay, if I... Great! Oh, okay, good. I do have another life. That was, that was scary. I thought I was gonna have to do the whole axle section over again. I expected Zero to get knocked back. I did not expect him to go at an angle and right into the pit. It's what I get for testing fate, I suppose. What's the pause screen look like? You know, I've been asking that myself. Despite all the buttons that I press, I don't think there is a pause screen. I don't think they developed one for this, or the previous demo. So yeah, select, start, Y, dash, A, attack, camera buttons, triggers, back buttons, pressing in on the sticks. Yeah, no, they didn't develop a pause screen for this, which, you know, that makes sense, right? It's a press release, an E3 demo, like, they probably want to just keep people moving. No room for, you know, filthy pausers. There's a whole crowd behind you. You can't have you pausing the game. If you need to pause the game, then you clearly need to go home. It's interesting, actually, how Zero has almost nothing to do with his alternate attack button in both, you know, this version and the final retail version. He gets one item that allows him to throw, like, you know, a sword boomerang, but that's it. Otherwise, his alternate attack button is completely useless. Is this person connected to this incident? Incident? Person? Metal Gear. Yeah, it would be cool to see if there's, you know, what the menu design was like at that point. Oh, right, that... I forgot that, cutscene doesn't wait for you. It kind of gives you the Squid Adler shakedown. You got some explaining to do. I'll tell you everything, but later. Right now I have to take care of that freak. Alright. Basically the final English dialogue is unchanged. Call me with L2. Okay, that's a weird switch button, but alright. Now, does Axel still have no health from the last time I left him off? Oh no, he has full health. Everything's fine. Oh god. Oh no, what the hell is happening? Oh dear. Okay, I see the Caesar screen effect that you were talking about earlier. This is not good. Yeah, hopefully, Outstanding Man, you're doing okay. Oh, this is bad. I already complain about motion sickness a lot when I play these games. This is, this is not a good look. I hope for the people who played this at E3's sake that this was something that that this is just a bug inherent to my, you know, mildly germane copy of the game, and not something that the players testing this game out had to deal with. So I gotta say, I would not buy this if this was the quality of their press demo. Oh, gotta stop. Definitely has more health than the final game. No, I'm pretty sure he had less health in the in this version. I think it's just that Axel's bullets are all blue, right? They're doing double damage. It's way easier to do. Oh God. Okay. Cool. Whoever's high in the chat, I'm sorry. That sucks. That must have been a bad experience. Final game version is a third. I think it's just that for me, when I was fighting him in the final game version, I did like the stupid thing and like just did not realize when to attack him. I just made it take way longer. Okay. So I've also heard that what was I saying? I've also heard that the game resets after you get to the end of each boss, or you get to the end of each stage and want to try to fight each boss. So, save stating here at the pause menu, or the stage select menu, so that way we don't have to play the intro stage over and over and over again. Yeah, screen shake effect could be an emulation issue. I'm guessing that's what that is, because that's pretty glaringly bad to not correct for a final version. Okay, so, you know what? Let's just start with Stone Kong. We don't have to be all that different this time around. Oh yeah, and we finally get to play as X. Nice. Yeah, I don't know. We'll give Axel his due. Maybe there's some interesting stuff to be done with the copy shot in this version. Probably nothing too new, but you know, we might actually get the some stuff to explore by copying the stone Mavericks. But how nice is it to be able to play as X right off the bat? Ain't that grand? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so I kind of... I remember Alia not obviously saying anything to Axel in his half of the intro stage, but Alia's not butting in for X even. They didn't decide who was... Well, no. They decided who was going to be giving X's messages. They just didn't actually decide that they needed to alert you every single time with a big "Can you hear me?" Although they did mistranslate her name as Area. We're getting a DNA core reading. It seems to be emanating from Stone Man. These guys still have just as much health as in the final version. Oh yeah, they do. I mean, okay, maybe that felt like a little bit less health than previous, or than the final game, but that's still a lot. At X, can you please jump over the obstacle? I know that you haven't done this in a while, X, but you still gotta have hops. It's a jump and shoot game. And if the shooting has been diminished, you gotta be able to jump. Oh yeah, and they don't have any auto fire here, so I'm getting a sore ass arm from this work. Ah. Finally made it. Hey, yeah, welcome, Gabriel. I'm glad you were able to make this. You sounded pretty hyped for this when I asked about it earlier. How's the pre-release version going? Is it very different? Well, let's see. This is the second pre-release version. It's going all right. You know, we just kind of started. We just we just beat the intro stage. Now we're going through Stone Kong stage. So far, it's not too different. Some of the main noticeable things is just like, you know, maybe some of what you would expect, right? Like, they didn't get the English VAs yet, so it's all the Japanese voice actors at this moment. You could play as X right off the bat. Well, not right off the bat. Once you get past the intro stage, you can play as X. What else? What else is there? There was a weird emulation issue I was having where the Scorpion boss at the end of the highway gave everybody a seizure. So don't go back and watch that if you're photosensitive. But otherwise, the games have been mostly similar. The previous version we played was a little bit more different because that version had incomplete like placeholder UI stuff. You could tell that like the what am I trying to say? They hadn't finalized what the health bars should look like. And so they look kind of a lot more awkward. Alright, well, oh, wait, no, I can switch over to Axel. He can do that. Let's see, what else? Oh, yeah, I think the other biggest notable difference in the E3 version is it seems that definitely Axel, almost certainly Axel, and probably Zero have double damage enabled. All of their shots are doing double damage. So that kind of helps chew through the extreme tankiness of a lot of the enemies here. Oh, he's not stopping because Alia's calling us. Okay. His people needed him, I guess. You should check to see if the heart tank's still there. Oh no, I guess that hasn't been in place yet. Makes sense. I honestly forgot where the heart tank was, so... yeah. I did want to see if I can't find Stone Man again. Okay, thanks, Axel. I pressed the jump button, but you just didn't. Hi, Chris Lawrence. Nice to have you again. And, oh god, right, I forgot the checkpoint was all the way back here. Fuck. Okay. Okay, yeah, sorry, Louise, you're not getting helped. Hope you're doing well tonight. Game has been... yeah, I mean, honestly, the game's been more fun than the actual X7 so far, just because of stuff like double damage on Axel and Zero being enabled. But, you know, so far it's still mostly the same, right? A couple of odd changes here and there. No English voice acting yet. But still, mostly the same old X7 we know, and... except? I think accept, maybe tolerate might be the best word for that. Copy Shot still does Copy shot still hits with all the force of a limp noodle. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright, let's make the most use of this while we can. Alright, you can throw, like, rocks and shit. Is this guy? Can't dash. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. There we go. There we are. And you know what? I'm honestly gonna hit a little bit of a bitch move, but I'm gonna put on a save state because I don't want to have to do this again if I somehow plow my way into the spikes. Though it might not be a somehow at this point if they don't make the stone man down here respawn. Okay, good. They thought of that at least. Okay, please. They still didn't think this part through. There's very little space to actually try and get a new stone man here. There we go. Permanent double damage on Axel is also impossible in the final game, even with parts. Best you do is 50% chance. Yeah, I noticed that. It's kind of... It's a little jarring that they decided to remove that between their E3 release of the game and their final release of the game, when clearly it doesn't break anything to have Axel be doing double damage. In fact, it kind of makes the game more fun. So the fact that they said, nah, we gotta get rid of this, Axel's just too good, it's a little bit insulting, honestly. Oh, okay, got X to do a chicken dance. Cool. Dash jump. There we go. Gotta play, like, extra careful now, because I do not want to do this again. I got no lives. You're gonna mention that, too. This version seems a little bit more fun to play. Could be favoritizing this version more since it's super new to me. Plays a little bit more like the previous X titles. I wouldn't say it necessarily plays a little bit more like the previous X title. I mean, okay, the fact that you can play as X immediately, it does play a little bit more like it in that sense, but this still... It still plays like X7. Don't get it twisted. This is X7. It's still got the same kind of weird, slow pace. It's still got, you know, the kind of automatic, everything's locking on for you kind of thing, so you don't have to really play the game. You don't have to do the jump and shoot part of the equation. Just the shoot part of the equation. Is the capsule still here? No, they didn't put the capsule in yet. Interesting. Oh god, please? Okay. That was close. But yeah, having the double damage does at least help make this a little bit more bearable for the other characters, and also having X as well. Still don't know why they made the stone men so resistant. I get that they wanted to make it feel like it was made out of a durable material, but... Well, when the average Reploid is made out of metal, ceratanium and the like, kind of doesn't make sense for, the stone man to be this goddamn durable. Also running low on health here. Oh, this ain't good. God damn it. It still also has the weird engine quirk of if you release your charge shot while you accidentally wall jump, you just lose all of it. Okay, made it onto Act 2. Can you crouch? You can crouch in this, yes. You like the alternate camera angle. I think it's largely the same in this stage, to be just a little bit skewed. But I will agree that I have liked the camera. Oh, this ain't good. If I had the time to save state, I would right now. I was expecting a bit of a health refill. Okay, can't jump on these guys. Is X just not targeting? X just not selecting a good target? I feel like that might be the case. Oh no, now they're finally graying out. Okay. X is trying to aim in the third... They didn't quite get it right. I think maybe they, I feel like X's aim in the third dimension's a little bit worse, but I don't think that's actually X's fault. I think that just might be the fact that they decided the game, maybe in the final release they found that X's gigantic-ass charge shot was just, expiring on too many walls. And they may have made it so X's charge shot just goes through walls a little bit easier. A little obvious, X now using his new VA for the game. Oh, I didn't even notice because I didn't even notice because it's not in English. Why do you insist on fighting? Oh yeah, this ain't the final boss theme, is it? It's just like the stage theme. Why do you insist on fighting? Well, you still got... Okay, they got X's character done at this point. First I ask you, what is strength? What's something you can lend to other people? Asking for help. What is war? Well, that's a lot more cut and dry. That's when two countries decide to send people at each other to kill each other to resolve a conflict. Method for imposing one's will upon another. Precisely. Now, no more talk. The answer to both is the same. Only the visitors. Victors will be as righteous in the eyes of history. Hey, that's a good... Thank you for your playing. That's a good point. Why didn't Zero get Stone Kong's sword as an ability? I feel like that would make more sense for him. It would make sense with all the previous games. Well, anyways, here I'll let the intro scene play out for a little bit more because some of our regular guests have showed up and they haven't seen this quite yet. But yeah, no, the E3 version's pretty fun, all things considered. Yeah, it just stops at the boss. There is no bosses to actually fight in this version. It's a bit disappointing. You would think that they would have at least included, you know, Stone Kong or one or two of the bosses to fight. You know? But I guess if you include one, then you gotta include all four, and well, maybe you included fewer stages and just had the two bosses instead of and only two stages, you could do that, but they just didn't go that way, so I don't know. Who am I to question Capcom's infinite wisdom? But yeah, no, having double damage is a definite boon to this demo version. Although obviously as a demo, it makes sense for being a demo, but it does suck that it just kicks you back out to the title screen after taking on one boss. Because, oh hey, you know what? That is actually weird, thinking about it now. They clearly did have the boss theme in development by the time that they released this, because it's playing, or at least a version of it is playing right now, but they didn't decide to actually implement it here in the, like, the stage end cutscenes. Huh. Anyways, I forget what I was saying next, but yeah, so I forget what I was saying, but yeah, E3 version, interesting. Oh, well, it makes sense that they kick you back out to the title screen, because, duh, they want the next person to try a new level. But, it does suck when trying to just, you know, engage with the content. So let's see. Let's go back to that was the... Why do I do these things? That was the... Oh, okay, that was the save button. I just saved over that. We have to play through the intro stage again. Why am I like this? Why am I like this? Why am I like this? I do this all the time. You have to know, I do this all the time too when I play games on emulators on my own. I can't get the save and load buttons right in my mind for some reason. I always do this. That's why whenever I play games, I just rely on the actual save and load features, because I constantly do this. I autopilot, and I completely forget which button I'm pressing. I don't know how to read English anymore. Alright, we'll just get through this quickly. Command Mission, good at least used to stream that. I have heard that I should give Command Mission a shot. I'd be interested in it. I'm not super into turn-based JRPG type stuff, but, you know, I'd be willing to give it a go. If I'm willing to eventually give, like, Mega Man Soccer a go one day, then yeah, sure, Command Mission is not the worst fate I could bring upon myself, especially if it seems to be so highly recommended. I wouldn't think that a Mega Man RPG would, JRPG would be peak, but apparently people say it's really good, outside of the high spawn rate. Alright. Well, now we get to play X7 as intended, which is not engaging with any of the bosses. Oh yeah, one of the different things here, you don't fight the door. Crazy. But they advertise selling the games why they stop the boss fight when the customer to buy it. Yeah, I guess that's fair, but it would have been cool to have at least one boss to fight. That could have been a good well, outside of the intro stage, one Maverick to fight. It would have been a good selling point. It's a 3 out of 5 command mission. Alright, fair enough. You want to play Mighty Number 9? I never really had the motivation to do so, but, you know, I also had never really had the motivation to play most of the X games before I started streaming, so, you know, I'm getting, I'll find reason. I could find reason to play it if everyone here was interested in it. I mean, honestly, I'm also approaching 100 subscribers, too. Mighty Number 9 might make for a good special thing to do there, so maybe I'll try it then, if there's interest in it. But otherwise, a lot of the kind of, you know, modern Mega Man revival stuff hasn't really caught my eye too much. Like, I've tried looking at 20XX, the RPG, or not the RPG, the roguelike. It seemed fun, but at the same time, it's like everyone's saying, like, I don't know, things get repetitive, difficulty gets high. It's like, I don't know. Was maybe turned a little bit away from it by the reviews. And I've also watched Berserk Boy, which looked like a pretty cool kind of, you know, Mega Man ZX tribute in a way. But, I don't know, watching some of the gameplay, it just looked like very repetitive, like, okay, you're just going to dash into things repeatedly and do damage that way. Like, and it kind of felt more like how... It felt kind of how, like, Sonic gameplay just kind of flows together at a certain point, where it's like you're just homing attacking things without really thinking too much about it. And it's just kind of like, I don't know, that doesn't sound fun. That just kind of sounds like going through the motions of things. It is good to note that in this version, Zero's saber attack is just is still completely dogshit in the mid-air. Zero's mid-air attacks are just completely worthless. They knew that they wanted to gimp Zero in that way from the very start. I play Mighty Number 9 so you don't have to. True. That's a decent way to market it. Oh, you did the... Gabriel, you did the save state thing too. Yeah, oh, that sucks, especially after playing for a long time like that. I think the worst instance of me doing something stupid like that was when I was playing Mother 3 for the first time, and I think I was just getting to the point where the forest was burning down, and I was fighting the pig mask in the tank, and I accidentally hit load, I accidentally, what did I do to screw myself out of being able to come back to the situation? Oh no, it was like, I was like 3 chapters later, I was trying to, you know, save the game, save a state, and what I did was I loaded back into several chapters earlier when I was fighting the pig mask in the tank, and then I saved over the save state I wanted to actually load back to in the first place. That stopped me from playing what would become my favorite game of all time for several months. Be an interesting watch for Mighty Number 9. Alright, I'll take notes on that. Wasn't Copy Kitty also on the bucket list? Oh yeah, that one was there too. Oh, there's so many things. I need to actually start writing this down. Yeah, I was gonna say, so for those of you just joining us, when I had fought when I fought Mega Scorpio at the end of this, probably an emulation issue, but the screen absolutely spazzes out when we get there. It kind of does this awful back and forth flashing effect, as if the game was, you know, as if well, yeah, we get like a left translated and a right translated image back and forth. Oh, for fuck's sake, that got me again, really? was just trying to make space so I could dash. But yeah, there's a very bad visual effect when we get over to Mega Scorpio, and it lasts the entirety of the fight. So try to keep it quick. Stand ping Crimson. Yeah, he's rubber banding. Oh, I gotta listen to this cutscene again. God damn it. Yeah, I would have preferred a different camera angle for this scenario. Well, we'll save this state now. What's going on? Squid Adler moment. Don't get the chance to move before the text box ends. But yeah, I forgot what things have we actually suggested for the 100 subs? Because now we're at like Copy Kitty, we're at Spark the Electric Jester, we're at Mighty Number 9. I forget anything else that we had mentioned. Interesting, we are approaching it pretty quickly. It was a lot harder to get up to 50 than it was up to 100, I'll tell you that. Mega Man DOS. Mega Man DOS, also a contender. Although, I don't know. See, the thing for me is, it's weird. Like, I am a very Mega Man-centric channel, right? So it would make sense to do Mega Man-related things. Oh, this is, now's your chance to look away from the screen for the next couple of minutes. You know, it'd be appropriate to do Mega Man-related stuff at sub milestones, but also like it's just what I do normally. Like, I was gonna play Mega Man DOS at some point normally, anyways, right? So like, it feels maybe a little bit cheap to make that a 100 subs thing. Maybe that's I mean, I am in the spirit of doing X-related stuff. Maybe that's when I give Command Mission a go, or some stupid shit like Mega Man Soccer. I feel like that if I was to do something that was actually Mega Man, that's what I would do, is to do the weird spin-off Mega Man stuff instead. But if we were to, you know, also just do Mega Man likes, I feel like that would work out as well. I can roll as Axel. I forgot that. Why do I always forget about that? Yeah, screen is not good. There we go. It's fixed. It's the camera. The camera shifting between two different angles and alternating every frame. Yep. Sounds about right. Alright. Alright, we made it to the screen. This time I am saving 2 slots. That's right. 2 slots. That way, in case I screw up again, I have a backup. When you're incompetent, you have to come up with systems to circumvent your own incompetence. My genius, sometimes it frightens me, kind of shit. My number 9 is great, people are just haters. I don't know, haven't given it a shot. I would actually be interested in maybe giving it a shot then. Okay, Grim, I think you had a request for doing, Warfly stage a while ago. I don't remember exactly what you said, but we're gonna get to it. Alright, this time I feel like bringing... What do I feel like bringing? I mean, I'm definitely bringing X because it's just fun to bring. Oh yeah, also, weird little difference. They decided to write MegaManX out in its entirety here, rather than just X as in the final version. Zero was pretty good for, well, I don't need to fight the boss, so I don't need to consider that. So, yeah, Zero was kind of not good for the rest of the stage, so, yeah, I'll bring Axel along. Yeah, they forgot the spacing. At least they got the capitalization right. Ready? Alright. Oh, select button. The old battleship is their headquarters, and they move about with the flotilla. Alright, I mean, sure, yeah. Thanks for giving me some information, X. I don't think that was mission necessary, but... Oh yeah, I think that was another weird difference. This is in, This section is in 3D. I believe this was a no, wait. This was a partial 2D section. What am I trying to say? This was a camera-locked 3D section in the final game, but they gave us kind of free camera controls in this version. It's a little nauseating, to be quite honest. I'm kind of glad that they locked it in the final version. This is like, what am I trying to think of? This is like if Sonic Adventure 2's fight using Eggman on the ship had worse camera. Much worse camera. Okay, I ought to just give... Can we just give X a call? Yeah. X has like an actually strong weapon. The lock-on is a lot less generous for this fight. It's being a lot more stubborn about actually finding its footing. Yeah, I don't know what X is saying here because I don't speak Japanese, but he sounds a lot less whiny regardless. Even if he is saying stop, he's not being stop it! More like stop! Kind of thing. Firmly. This thing is kind of thoroughly kicking my ass a lot more, though. Oh my god. Is it me or is it way more mobile? Oh, come on. Just go down already. Okay. Whatever. Yeah, X does kind of have that Link sound right now. I agree. Alright, let's try and get there again. I don't remember that guy being there last time. Man, I wanted to play X8. This one was just making noises with Mortal Kombat's characters. I heard a Tomare. I don't know what that means. Maybe that means stop. I know Dio says that for time stop, so maybe that is stop. So maybe X is still chanting stop, but not nearly as whiny. Okay, yeah, I definitely think that X's big-ass charge shot is just... It's a lot more detrimental in the early version of the game, because this guy does not actually... Those wings do not actually have all that much health. But it seemed to have been getting... That's not English, but you know what I'm saying. Been getting blocked on, like, the platform or the body of the jet instead of actually hitting the wing all that time. Because you saw the first one I landed, just... Whew, it came right off, but on the other wing, I couldn't land a hit for the life of me. Hit detection's still assy in the final. Alright, well, I don't know. Maybe I just have bad memory. It is entirely on brand. And again, I guess I didn't fight this stage as X, did I? I took this on as Zero and Axel. Maybe it was a lot better as Zero, because I could just kind of hack and slash at it. Peter. Oh yeah, this is gonna be way easier with X. Oh hey, they fixed the multi-explosion sound. It's no longer going brrrr. It's just like boom, 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 boom. A Season 3 JoJo fan you like. Fair enough. Season 3 is not my favorite. I will admit that Part 3 of JoJo is not my favorite season. I think that the storytelling is a little bit... paint by numbers. I don't really like the highly episodic format. I like the much more like long continuity format that the first two parts had. And the story felt a little bit better in part 2, but you know, I think by the end of part 3 they were starting to hit their stride, and then definitely part 4 is my favorite part of JoJo, or at the very least it's tied with number 2. So it's not like I absolutely hate all the episodic stuff they tried out. They eventually got it to work pretty good. Oh right, I want to play as Axel here because he can dodge roll. Oh, this is a lot harder. This is a lot harder to play without my preferred control scheme. If I had time to throw off a save state, I would. Okay, why is it so not generous? I did not have a hard time hitting these things with bullets beforehand. I had a hard time hitting this guy with 0 beforehand. That made a lot more sense, though, because, you know, melee. I swear, Axel's just not fucking hitting anything. Alright, come on. We got it. X, you gotta clutch this out for me, man. Okay. Although the one thing I will give Part 3 a lot of credit for, I mean, stands are cool. You can't, you know, give that shit. I do like the fact that, you know, everything's a lot more things. At least we got a more consistent setup for 90s rock bands to start, 90s and earliest rock bands to start being included in JoJo. So I'll give it that.
Ready?
I was a little bit, the one thing I was a little bit disappointed about with Part 3, honestly, is just the fact that they stopped, like, Hammond stopped being a thing, except for Joseph. I get that they kind of made a story reason of, like, Joseph doesn't want to bring this burden on people, but also, come on. Wouldn't you like to actually see people be doing fights, like, doing things themselves, while they also have their standout? I would pay so much money to see Jotaro kicking ass while Star Platinum also goes and kicks ass. That would be great. But as it stands, it's just kind of unfortunate that it's just like, you know, it's mostly just the dude kind of sitting there, you know, your stand user's standing there slack-jawed while the stand does all the work. Outside of Joseph actually doing stuff with Hammond and his stand, it doesn't really go much anywhere, you know? Put back on the job, thanks to you, creeps. You're saying we're playing too rough. Fool! Foolish fools that foolishly. No! Rusted old machines should stay home and play with their toasters. Okay. I'm not rusty, and I don't think MegaManX has a need for toast, so... Yeah, Hammond does become a joke later on and on. It's unfortunate. And yeah, Part 3 is super filler in the first half of it. It is really kind of rough, IMO. Okay, there we go. Don't have to do the intro stage out. Yay! Major Arcana, then Egyptian Gods, then music references. Yeah, it did take a while. At least the Major Arcana references are pretty fun. Ending time in JoJo Part 1. That ending theme still sends chills down my hair and goosebumps. Yeah, JoJo's ending. JoJo Part 1 ended pretty nicely. Although Jonathan's a little too cheesy for me. I think Josuke is a perfect balance between cheesy bullshit, heroism, good thinking on his feet, and humor. I like Josuke a lot. All right, so I'm gonna elect to save Lava Factory for last. Well, no, there's no point in really doing so. Yeah, there's no real point in doing so. There's what am I saying? There's no Flame High Art to cap things off with. Oh, actually, it seems that is the only option. Huh. I thought we were going to get 4 stages. I guess as advertised, the highway must have counted as 1 stage. Alright, well, we got 1 more to go through then. Warfly's VA in Japanese is Tenshin Han's original VA from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Alright, solid. Man who barely watches any anime nods on an agreement. I admit the Pillarmen in Part 3 did convince me to start getting shredded again. Those muscles. That's pretty cool. JoJo does have a lot of cool fan service for musclemen enjoyers. You gotta give it that. And motivation for a lot of people to, you know, you'll turn to butter if you touch that lava. That feels... I mean, yeah, but that also... Butter? Butter. That doesn't... I think that might be the only time the word butter is said in the entirety of the X series, and it feels very out of place. Yeah, I'm not exactly the exercise type, so... I was not motivated to go ahead and, get to the gym after JoJo, but that's a fault of me being an extremely sweaty Italian-American man, and the only form of exercise I can remotely enjoy is swimming, because all the sweat just, you know, washes right off. Waiting for the DNA core. Yeah, whatever. I don't... Kill this guy. Okay, Zero's obviously not the choice for this. Oh shit, it Dio. Okay, yeah, Dio's voice actor is pretty recognizable, though. I'll give him that. I can maybe actually recognize him between pieces of media for that reason. Alright, to no one's surprise, Zero is not being very useful, despite all the chances I'm trying to give him. So, okay, my hand is starting to hurt from mashing so much. I'm very glad that I was convinced without much resistance to turn on auto fire and auto charge in my playthrough. Can I jump up there with Zero? Do he have double jump? Oh yeah, he does. There we go. Well, alright, bad situation to have Zero in. Alright. There we go. Oh, and Warfly's VA was Kakuin. Oh, neat. I wish I had an ear for this kind of thing. I don't know. I just 100%. I'm just like I don't recognize my voice actors unless they're like extremely iconic. Like I think I'm sure there were more voice actors that I could have recognized when I was playing Baldur's Gate, but the only one I actually recognized while playing the game was J.K. Simmons as Ketherick Thorm. J.K. Simmons kills it in every single role, so it's like, yeah, this really made the performance spectacular. Yeah, we're just gonna leave that Reploid to die. He don't matter. None of this matters. Alright, come on. One more of these things. Oh, you've gotta be okay. No, all the way back to the beginning. God damn it. Why can't MegaManX just control it a little better in this game? Whatever. I really, really wish I could have figured out how to remap my controls before playing this. What's the switch guy button? No, not that one. Oh, whatever. I guess this works. Meant to switch the lock-on button. I couldn't recall. Zero's pretty useful for fighting that guy. That's good to know. It's a demo still, yeah. I mean, that's how the checkpointing is in the and the controls are in the regular game. I'm pretty sure I only remapped them. Actually, no, I remapped them in the final version. Yeah, I mean, I could have done like a button remapping in the emulator, right? But I don't know. I guess I elected not to. I didn't really have the time for it this weekend. So I have to kind of get used to awkwardly rolling my thumb across the D-pad and using my thumb to mash. I'm a pointer finger masher all the way, so this is awkward. Awkward to say the least. No, not again. Oh, damn it. Bastard jumps just a little bit before I dash and... That's something I also just generally hate about, It's something I also generally hate about a lot of the X series' later installments. The fact that once you get the ability to air dash... I am much more error prone in the games where that allow you to air dash because of that exact reason. If I accidentally mistime my input and instead of inputting a grounded dash, I then input an air dash instead just after jumping a little piddly amount, then I'm all of a sudden catapulted forward because I was expecting to be holding, the button for longer. And then I die. I just prefer not having an air dash. It just makes life a lot easier. Gonna hate X8? Great! I mean, look, X6 still had the air dash, so like I'm sure I can deal with it eventually when I actually get back to like my proper control scheme. But it's still not good to have. It fucked me over a couple of times in X6 as well. Just not nearly as badly, because that game, oddly enough, doesn't have that many pits to fall into. Just a lot of spikes. And you usually don't need to... you don't need to be super quick around them. You need to plan more around the spikes rather than, like, have quick inputs. Looking forward to the X8 stream. Come on, don't you want me to like things? Don't you want me to be a little bit positive? I'm kidding, of course. It's way more fun to have somebody be mad on stream. Come on, X, please. We were almost at the end of the area. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay, I can tell now that X is making... Chicken dance, hooray! X is making pain sounds when he shoots. I can still hear... Blah, blah. Complete halt for no reason, so you just die. I haven't noticed my dash momentum just dying for no reason. What I've more or less noticed is that in this game, your dash ends if you let go of the dash button. You can cut your dash short in this game, which I guess you can in any other game, but I don't think it was by letting go of the dash button in the other games. It was more like switching directions. Should be a transporter that warps to the factory core. Darn, that heat is blocking our search. Okay, sure. I guess maybe that could make some... No, actually, you know what? That maybe could make a little bit of scientific sense. If they're using an IR, if they're using infrared to scan the area, then magma's putting off a shitload of infrared because it's so hot. And that could mean they wouldn't be able to find the teleporter. They'd have a lot of noise in their signal. Happens in the SNES trilogy too? Nope. I felt like I pressed the dash button significantly less in the SNES trilogy. But maybe I'm... well, whatever. As we know, I don't pay attention to games, apparently, so... Also, this area is definitely different. I don't remember it being this linear. No, maybe it's just that I didn't have, maybe I just took an alternate path because of Axel. Yeah, I definitely took the alternate path because of Axel. Well, it's kind of interesting. The, we can at least say that definitely the E3 version was, oh. Ah! Damn it. I hate the air dash. The E3 version is a lot closer to retail than the February press version. They did a lot of work in 3 months to make the game finalized. However, it's not like the final product was exactly polished, so maybe they could have spent a little bit more time than 3 months working on it. Alright, come. You know what? You know what? I just don't want to do this again in case I miss the jump. Somehow. I see what I mean! I had a fucking premonition, and it told me to save the game. It hurts being psychic sometimes, you know? It's you hear the premonition. Why don't you throw down save states whenever you can? Okay, I only just read that message. Damn. I guess you're the manifestation of my good thoughts, Grim. What the fuck? Why are you respawning? You're on screen. Get out of here. Oh yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, why not throw down save states all the time? I'm just simply not used to it. It's not something I think of very often when I'm playing games. Unless it's like, here's a clear lull period, and shit is super difficult. 7's not super difficult, it's just kind of tedious. Huh. Is it? I could've sworn it was closer around here. Guess maybe head back this way? Dashing is supposed to maintain momentum while holding a direction. Help you casually just walking into everyone's attacks. Okay, I mean, yeah, that one's just me being lazy. This part is me trying to read chat at the same time. And, well, to be fair, that one was just... the one that got me to freak out in the first place was just, I don't know, not doing good. Gaming bad. Alright, I get the idea that apparently if they go in the pit, that's not death for them. That's frustrating. Okay, get me out of here. Oh, camera, please. There we go. Move the mouse out of the way, there we go. If only we had glide armor. Yeah, it would be pretty nice, wouldn't it? that would be it. Come on, X, lock on. You're the only one here with bullets. All right, and you're just not gonna lock on to either of them. Cool shit. We'll just get past this with Zero. The Met's slowly dipping into lava. All right, this is cool. I managed to spawn them in where they're both very poorly timed, so no point in trying to do that elegantly. Oh god, right, that was like Maverick Island. Oh, thanks. Zero got stepped on. And here's the invisible teleporter that had 0 draw distance. It's like I'm playing on a Nintendo Switch or something. Hey, Hyenard, what's up? So you're that Hyenard. So you're that ninja. Diagnosed with the malfunction. You must come with me. I will definitely take care of you. Oh wait, yeah, and this one does have the boss theme. That's weird. But didn't have it for Stone Kong back there. I don't know, I guess Hyenard, they knew he was going to be iconic. They had to give him some flash, huh? Some panache. It's already late stage. I don't think he'll come quietly. Late stage Maverickitis. Okuyasu from part 4. Oh, cool. Alright, well that was 2 demos down. My thoughts. The E3 demo was definitely... Okay, I don't want to give my thoughts over this loud-ass background noise. My thoughts is definitely that, you know, the E3 version was better than the retail version, just for the tweaks they had on Axel and Zero. But, you know, overall, it's largely the same thing as the final product, so... You know, not too much interesting to see here. The previous version was a lot more interesting to see what they did with the, you know, the early build of the game. How they just didn't have the UI ready yet. How the highway had a whole shoot the hornets in the back kind of segment that didn't make it into this version. And just, you know, that they didn't know what to do with the tank farm situation yet. Although it was kind of unfortunate that even in the press release version, you could soft block yourself. That was a sign of things to come. But yeah, E3 version definitely. Yeah, you're right, Grim. Worse camera in what's his name? Horsefly. Why isn't the name listed? That guy's stage. It was definitely worse there. So, yeah, well, I know it's 2 hours. I do have a little bit of bonus to talk about here, if anybody's willing to stick around for it. So, they had a part system as a consideration. I doubt they did, given that they just didn't have it in this build, and it's pretty similar to the final build, so I doubt they had a part system in consideration. I mean, maybe for the getting little bits and pieces like they did in the final game. But yeah, so I have a little bit of a extra thing to do. As some of you might remember, as some of you may remember, A, I'm a chemist. B, I was complaining about the chemistry, the chemical structures in the background of the X7 menu screens during my playthrough, but never had a good opportunity to just kind of go on an unhinged rant about them. So, I have prepared a little something here today. If I switch over to my other stream layout. Sorry for no audio here for a second. I'll put on my stream background while I close the emulator. So yeah, I have prepared a critique of all of the chemicals in X7 that are found in the X7 background. Now, and I have a tier list to rank how much I hate them. We have a couple tiers here. We have, you know, I found 5 was good enough to go for today. We have at the top it actually could work. If I'm being charitable, it could actually be a valid, real chemical structure. We have right below that, I would call it noticeably flawed. There's definitely a problem with the structure, but it's not one that's giving me an aneurysm to look at. After that, we have undergrad's first doodle, which is what the typical med student draws in their notebook when they first have to take a chemistry class. Then we have, we just have angry, because this is where it's starting to piss me off, like thoroughly piss me off. And then at the bottom we have war crime, where I am just ready to absolutely just lose my mind looking at how bad the structure is. Even for, you know, TV structures don't know nothing about chemistry, it is bad. X7s are really bad. So yeah, I extracted all 7 of the images over the weekend. Or no, not 7, that's 6. All 9 of the images over the weekend into, well, not extract them. I tried looking for the texture of, like, the background, and I got it, but it was in this kind of weird, like, rainbowy color because they needed to try to make, like, the flash in it, or the fade in and out effect work. So I only kind of was able to rely on that. Between looking at that and looking at actual gameplay footage from my streams, I was able to piece together what all the letters and structure were. It was not easy for some, because a lot of the game was, you know, still not great, not really high resolution. But I got the best that I could get. I'm pretty sure I got every single one right. So, to start off, we have, I don't know, this, I don't have names for these little guys, but I'm gonna just, you know, our first structure here is this one with the ring, a sodium in the bottom left corner, an oxygen in the upper right, and this CH2M off to the right. So I ranked these myself. I have a reference that I will be looking at while I do this. Let me see, where is my screenshot of it? There it is. Okay. So, off the bat, we're off to a decent start. We're at noticeably flawed. I'm gonna try to, you know, I'll explain the chemistry as best I can, but I'm not gonna keep it too technical because I know that, like, I am not an undergraduate chemistry, you know, textbook. So let's just start off. I'll just try to explain, you know, the best I can what is wrong with this for my eyes. So, I guess as a quick, you know, step 0 note, is just that for anybody unfamiliar with chemical, what's the word? Signature? That's not quite it. How chemical formulas are quick hand written. Yeah, people are gonna be very confused, but oh well, whatever. It's still X7 content, right? I could maybe throw up a quick text thing to be like, hey, we're done with X7, sorry. But I think they could probably assume that at this point. For anybody unfamiliar with how chemical notation is done, these, any vertex is meant to be an abbreviation for a carbon atom. So if you see a vertex, this is supposed to be a carbon atom, and it's meant to have a certain number of hydrogens attached to it to fill in the amount of electrons and bonds that carbon wants to form. As a rule of thumb, carbon always wants to form 4 bonds to things, and so a vertex like this would be a carbon with bonds to other carbons, this one being a carbon, this one being a carbon, and an implied 2 hydrogens. And then, for instance, over here, this would be a carbon with a bond to 1 hydrogen, so it'd have 4 bonds. You get the picture at this point. So that's all fine and dandy. That's normal. What is bothersome about this image is these 2 groups here: the oxygen in the top part of it, and the CH2M off to the right. CH2M is nothing. It's like CH2, sure, you have a carbon attached to another carbon and 2 hydrogens, so that would be a problem in the sense that, like, This is a carbon that just, like, has a lone electron at that point. Carbon brings 4 electrons to the table, 3 of them are off to a bond, or off to different bonds, and now we just have another electron here. That is ridiculously unstable and not what structures do in the real world. The M doesn't mean anything. The M, funnily enough, could mean something if we were talking about isotope notation, that is a metastable isotope and it might decay, but that's not what they're, a structure would go for. It's not what they were going for either. They just threw spaghetti at the wall and they said good enough. But, still, that bugged me. The other thing up here was the oxygen, and for a similar reason, oxygen normally wants to form 2 bonds. It brings 6 electrons to the table. It would normally have 2 unpaired, it would have 2 lone pairs of electrons, so 4 of them up here, and then it'd be contributing one of its electrons to this bond with the carbon. But then it also just has another unpaired one. Oxygen radicals are not unheard of, but they are very unstable and not something you would find normally in a structure like this. And side note, sodium carbon bonds, they're not they're not strong. B, they're rare. A sodium carbon bond is ludicrously reactive, so I don't see this being very stable. But stability aside, this could technically be something. It could, if I was being very charitable about it, it could be a real structure, but I'm not willing to be this charitable about it. There's problems here, and no matter what you do, this M, it doesn't make any sense. Also, feel free to tell me if the music is a little bit overbearing. I think this one got a little bit loud compared to the previous things in my playlist. But anyway, so yeah, this earns its place as a notable B tier in the list. So up next, we have this next little ring-shaped structure. We can call it Nello B for the Nello B group up here. This one, it actually could work. I have not very much to complain about this one. The oxygen has proper bonding. Chlorine is also an element that wants to do 1 bond. It has 3 lone pairs. That's a total of 8 electrons from the 3 lone pairs and the 2 in the bond, and it's great. You think this section of the stream should just be uploaded as a separate vid? I mean, I could have, but I committed to the bit at this point, and if I separated it off, it would not do good for my algorithm. That would be uploading a 1-hour thing of me talking about this, and if we did a bunch of editing, it would make sense, but just got back in what is this. So yeah, sorry Chris, you missed the rest of the E3 demo. It was adequate. It wasn't really all that different from the main game. It just had a couple of odd camera choices. But what we're doing now is that because I'm a chemist and because the backgrounds of X7 have a bunch of chemical structures in them that irritate me, I wanted to talk about them. I could have maybe made a separate video for this that would have been a little bit more appropriate, but I lured you in here with X7, and now I'm hoping that you might stay for this, so. We're on the second structure, making a tier list ranking of how good / how bad these are. Take the bit, upload as a video, just see how it performs for the memes. I mean, if I just took the raw footage, this would be probably, I'm guessing at this point, an hour of me talking. And because YouTube seems to separate things into live streams and videos and shorts, I think all 3 of them have a separate algorithm. If I uploaded this on its own as a video, it would kind of tank the rest of my analytics. I could maybe upload it as a stream as if we would just watch it in retrospect, but anyways. But yeah, so we're ranking chemical structures. This one doesn't really have that many problems. The bonds for these carbon-carbon bonds on the sides are short for some reason. I mean, that doesn't have real meaning, it's just poorly drawn, but it's odd, but it's acceptable. Sodium, carbon, fine bond, even if reactives. Chlorine, carbon, fine bond. The only thing that's weird about this structure is whatever the hell Nello_B is. That doesn't mean anything. It could just be somebody's specialty functional group. It's a shorthand for something. So I'm willing to be charitable and say that that's just a special shorthand that somebody wrote, and it's fine. Out of pocket this Vit is, it'd be unfortunate if it gets buried in just the live stream VOD. Yeah, it is true. I don't know, maybe I could make like a shorter edit, cutting out some of the wordier stuff. We'll see. And just not having much other editing stuff in here. Anyways, so yeah, this one gets an S tier equivalent rank of it's okay. Next, we have this guy. This one ended up for me in noticeably flawed again. A couple issues here. Again, carbon wants to have 4 bonds. At present, it has 3. 1 to the hydrogen. This double bond here. It is a carbon radical. That's just not really forgivable to do in a chemist size. You also have sulfur-oxygen bond over here. That's fine. It's unconventional, but it works. But then they throw this A2 shit in here, and that means nothing. That doesn't mean anything. I can't even give you a bullshit like, oh, you know, M means metastable. Like, no, this is nothing. and OA is not an element either. So like, I don't know what they're going for here. So just no. That's a problem. Then we have up here, this is so close to being something. Having aluminum with 4 bonds is acceptable if it was negatively charged. But the fact that it's kind of implying that it's bonding into the methyl here, that's not how you would note that. You would want to make it a methylene, which is CH2 and not CH3. So, yeah, I'm not. There's something funky here, and regardless, there's no charges. There should be a charge if it wants to work. So, no. Your field in industrial organizing technology can see how it is broken down. Oh, sweet. Another man of science. Cheers, I'll drink to that. Yeah, I kind of expected. I'm mostly doing this for me, Grim. Don't worry. I'm mostly doing this for me to say that, look, I'm a chemist and I must make sure everybody knows about it. That is possibly the hallmark of a chemist. You will know that we are chemists. So, yeah, this one is not the worst thing I've ever seen. They tried, and most of the atoms here are correct. And I could kind of maybe squint at this group and be like, hey, you know, it's almost there. But it's too flawed to be actually realistically viable. Next, we have this. This is a war crime. This is a disaster on every single level. Almost every single level I can imagine. This part on the right here, that's fine. The Furan group over there is okay. There's no problems with that ring. We start to get to problems here. This labeling is weird. I can't tell if the bonds are... This is like if they threw a whole group into something that's in the middle of what looks like a very long bond. I don't know what they're going for here. They might be going for 2 bonds into sulfur, which is... You know, this is valid. It would work. It would be very unconventional. Sulfur does not like adopting this state of having 10 electrons in its valence and then having a sulfur-carbon double bond. It's whack, but it could work. Of course, they could also mean instead that this is like, you know, this bond comes into this CH2 group, which then goes on to a sulfur, which then bonds out. There's ambiguity. Both of them could work, but ambiguity is not great. And then we really get into shit that sucks on this side of the field. Why is the phosphorus like this? I drew this as accurately as possible. For some reason, it looks like the bonds go in and connect here before the phosphorus, which they shouldn't. They should be just going right into it. There shouldn't be another CH group here. That doesn't make sense. I don't understand what their decision. It would have been fine if they moved it just a couple pixels to the left, but they just didn't get it right. And then, yeah, the first war crime has X7 in its composition, which that fits, yeah. I don't know what X7's meant to be. It doesn't mean anything. And then also, again, with the way this is drawn, it's structural ambiguity. It doesn't make sense. Is it bonding into the oxygen, and then you have an OCH, which then you have a severely deficient carbon, and whatever the hell an X7 is, I couldn't really even begin to dissect all the things that's wrong with this. Usually something like this would indicate like, oh, well, here's a C, and there's a double bond to an oxygen, and here's a hydrogen. But then where does the X7 go? I don't know. Yeah, the element of suffering, or maybe sleepiness, one of the two. And then down here, again, ND, it means nothing. That's a nothing MacGuffin. That's a nothing burger. I really don't know what's happening here. A CH3CHO, now that is not impossible. That could be something like this, H3C, bonding C. Actually, no, it is impossible, because on its own, it would look something like this, but then that's not connecting to whatever the hell this part of the structure is. So, like, could be this. HO, but then it goes back into whatever this ND thing is, and then where the hell is the last electron, the last bond for the carbon? I demand an answer. So, no, this is a war crime. This hurts me to look at on just about every single level imaginable. I truly hate this structure. Next one is the worst war crime of the entire group. I really dislike this structure strongly. Like, I have really strong feelings against this structure. First off, what the fuck is going on here with the bonds? That's a bond going right into another bond. It's not unheard of to have, like, structures where the double bond of, like, a carbon-carbon double bond is, like, donating into a metal. But that's not what's happening. This is just carbon bonds going at each other. It doesn't even get, like, the chemistry shorthand right. The vertices are not correct. It's bad. Also, this section was unusually spaced in the final version as well. Or in the actual game as well. So I chose to interpret that they weren't actually making a double bond, and that they were just, again, also violating bond rules by just bonds going into other bonds. Woo, who cares? And, like, having two things trying to come out of this one carbon. It's fucked. It's fucking fucked, mate. It's fucked. You cannot possibly recover. It's wrong. You like the hexagons. You also failed chemistry. That's okay. You have me here to rant to you about why chemistry can be funny. So, it's all right. Yeah. So this is a mess. And we're just getting started here. ST. That's not an element. That means nothing. So, again, they're just making things up. I suppose maybe they came up with maybe in the year 20XX they have element 174 on the periodic table or whatever, and that became known as, like, Stantonum or something, and, like, they said, you know, yeah, cool, we'll make that into an element, but, like, it's not real, and you can't make me accept it. Sigmanium, that would be SG, sir. I'm sorry. Actually, no, wait. Referring to the actual periodic table I have at in my apartment. No, SG is already taken. SG is number 105. That's Seaborgium, named after Glenn Seaborg, one of the men at Berkeley who worked on discovering 7 of those nonsense elements at the bottom of the table. Anyways, we also have a nitrogen up here, which nitrogen likes to usually have 3 bonds and a lone pair. This is doing... This needs more stuff. This is, like, severely underbonded. It has, like, an electron structure like this, which is, like, a diradical, which is just ludicrously terrible. It needs charges on it somewhat. It's missing electrons. It's missing bonds. It's just at the end. It's bad. I can't. It's hard for me to express to you without you having a chemistry background, y'all in the audience, how rough this is to look at. And right next to it, too, we have calcium. If this was sodium, this would be fine. Sodium-carbon bonds we talked about earlier. That's fine. Sodium wants 1 bond. Calcium is normally a +2. I'm using my mouse to draw. That's why this comes out scuffed. Calcium is normally a +2 ion. So by bonding to a carbon, that would only bring it down to +1. So this is missing a charge. You would have calcium plus. This would be like nitrogen 2+ at this point. Right, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that would actually be that would be nitrogen 1-, but also still missing 2 electrons. So like, so we have an imbalance of charge and a dearth of electrons at the nitrogen. Terrible. Also, it's just a big fat CH2 down here, and this should be CH3. Because, again, carbon needs 4 bonds. I can't stress this enough. You're curious how would basenium be abbreviated as. So that gets determined in the real world. Abbreviations and names get determined by the IUPAC, the International Union of Practices and... Okay, I'm... Uh-oh. my chemistry pants are down. Let me IUPAC. International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. They decide names and abbreviations. You know, usually it's the researchers who actually come up with or discover the element. They propose the name and it gets accepted like 99% of the time. So I would guess basenium would probably be either BS or BM. One of the two. BS would be funny. I don't know if chemists have the sense of humor to do that. But BM would also be funny because, yeah, Base is a pretty BM character too. Either one works for him. That's what my proposal would be if I wanted to name something basenium. So anyways, we're still not done with the war crimes on this one. Oxygen should have 2 bonds. Under no circumstances should oxygen ever have more than 2 bonds. This is impossible. Oxygen cannot have 3 bonds and 2 electrons like this and be stable. This is this is way too many electrons in oxygen's octet. It's just it's messed up, it's wrong, it's bad. You could theoretically have oxygen plus here and have 1 lone pair, but given the, like, I can't get into really the formal charges and how that's calculated right now without bloating the video down even more. But like, well, actually I can. So each bond would count as half an electron for the oxygen. So we get 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, contributing to oxygen's formal charge count. Oxygen wants to have 6 electrons in its kind of like inner nest to be stable, because it just, as a freestanding atom in the vacuum of space, that's what it has. So when it makes bonds, it wants to keep that kind of stability around it. It still wants to gain 8 total electrons in like its wider sphere, and that's what having 3 bonds and a lone pair would do for it, because then you would count the bonds as 2 electrons instead of 1. It's just a matter of counting, and it's a system we developed rather than like a fundamental thing of nature. Formal charge and octets are not like something that nature counts and is distinguishable there. It's just something that we count and helps us make structures correct. And in this state, oxygen either has way too much or way too little, and it's not pretty. Then this, again, what the hell is what is this lowercase o? Doesn't make any sense. If we are charitable about how the bonding is going here, we somehow have to connect 4 carbons and a hydrogen together. I could maybe see this like being... Oh god, this hurts to draw. Okay, so that's 3 carbons, and then... How would I draw another CH in this? Try to make it work. I don't know if I can, really. No, I could not make this work for the life of me, because now this carbon's missing a partner. If I put the carbon on there, then that's gonna have a carbon adrift in space. I don't know. Bad. Next. OB means nothing, just a funny looking face. It's this is kind of how I look. looking at this molecule. That OB is that's my eyes right now and my mouth. Sodium, a cyanide group for some goddamn reason, another C3. This is a disaster. This is spaghetti on the wall. This is Jackson Pollock making a chemical structure. This is nothing. I really hate this one. Don't get me wrong, both of these are in the war crime category, but this one is way worse than the previous one. This one is abysmal. Okay, so moving on. I'm glad to report that it only goes up from here. Those are the only two in this list that I would consider absolute war crimes. The other ones are not great, but we have our only one that I would count an undergrad's first doodle with this. Good news, this entire thing off to the right, this set of hexagons, cyclohexane groups, totally cool. It works, it's fine. You can have bridges like that, it makes sense. You can also have it bond into another cyclohexane group like this, and that's okay. It's weird that it was drawn small, but I'm willing to overlook that at this point. After what I just looked at, I'm willing to understand that they're just drawing things small for some reason. They still have bonds going into bonds. I don't like it, but that's also like the only thing where I'm like, this sucks. Well, okay, it's not the only thing. Okay, that's the only thing that's like egregious in this molecule. Otherwise, I can accept that like they forgot to just put anything in the middle here. All of these bonds were just going into an empty space. So, oops. Also, there's circles. I don't know what the circles mean. Circles sometimes are used to just represent like here's a random anything that doesn't need to be filled in, but like it doesn't formally mean anything. I would never do that in the structure, unless I'm just trying to like map out an octagon, like something like this, being like, oh yeah, so like these are the 6 points of an octagon, and I just want to keep track of like where the 6 points are. Like otherwise, circles don't work. And then yes, EVs, the Pokemon chemical. This is what you actually get when you beat up a helpless Bidoof on Route 2. You get this chemical, and that's what makes your Pokemon stronger. But oops, I resized that. What's up? What are you saying, Crash? And there's 6 points in an octagon. Did I say octagon? I meant to say octahedron. The octahedron. See, that's what I was going for. Octahedron. 8 faces. There we go. I'm tired. I've been yapping for 2.5 hours. Sue me. Yeah, EV doesn't mean anything again in the chemical world, but you know, I'm willing to, at this point, to just be like, okay, maybe EV just means some kind of group that they're going for, if someone was really drawing this. So, given that there's only one real huge mistake in this, I would say, yeah, undergrad's first doodle. I don't like looking at this, but it doesn't give me the same visceral reaction that the other things on this list kind of do. Moving on, we have this one. This one goes firmly in the kind of category. I am pissed off by this one for a couple of things. Most of it's okay. But the main thing I have a problem with here, well, there's two things. The minor thing I have a problem with here is the chlorine. This should not be double bonded. That, again, too many electrons in a chlorine. Otherwise, you have something like this, and you have too few, and you have like a chlorine plus, which is stupidly reactive, not happening. So, you know, that's awkward. What's really bad here is this O2 in the middle. You can't have structural ambiguity like this. Not only does it just not make sense for oxygen to have this many bonds, but also, like, how is the O2 oriented? Is it more like this, where you have, like, an O2 going this way? Or is it kind of instead, like, you know, bond here and then like another bond going off this way. It just doesn't make sense. It's ambiguous. It's ambiguous, and there's no way to rectify that in the structure. It's really, really egregious. Then minor points. You would think this actually would be an error, but no, you can actually make a group that looks like this. I wouldn't write it this way, but you can have what is known as a peroxy acid, an uncommon but usefully reactive group of chemicals. So this one makes sense. This gets a pass, and I like it because it's not a common group, so, you know, I'm sure it was on accident, but it's cool that they included it. There's also the weird thing of this, there was just a random methane group, like, right next to all this. In the menu, there's a methane group right next to this. I don't know why. There's no way methane would be bonded to this in any single possible way, but it was there, so I included it. It's not, like, incorrect in any way. It's just like, huh? Why'd you put it here? Oh, yeah, and I guess there's also the other issue of why bond long? This is the type of pentagons you would see in like a paper from the 1940s when they just had typewriters and they had no real way of making pentagons easily. They had the hexagon stamp, so they just said, you know what, pentagon stamp, we're just removing this one and we'll make it this. The bonds don't make any sense lengthwise, but it's okay. It's just, again, a kind of a gross choice. So far, looking at the chemical structure and configuration in statistical terms, the mean, it's the oxygen and nitrogen is the mean. Modes of caloric and election as your range. All right, that edible's hitting good, huh? that edible's hitting real good, man. I just imagine combining Ambien with ibuprofen to make ambiprofen. Shit. Just throw in some Benadryl there, and you have, like, the ultimate knockout tool. Ambiprofen would be badass, though. Alright, so, yeah, that one sucks. Next, we're on to this one. Surprisingly, there's more than one structure in this that actually goes in S tier. This could be real. Again, NT is not an element. It's nothing. But I'm willing to give them that this is, like, some new element or like a group of their own or something. The bond angle is weirdly drawn here between these two hexagons, but like, you know, otherwise it's okay. Again, we're moving past weird bonds, and they actually got a carbon-carbon bond, double bond right, guys. Can you believe it? Wow, only I am impressed by this. This structure is completely fine otherwise. Like, I could complain about stuff in the other could work thing, but the great part about the two could work categories, or chemicals that made in the could work category here, is that if you can just believe that the weird random shit they wrote is an actual custom group or something, this is totally fine and acceptable. There's nothing wrong with it at all. And then lastly, we have, unfortunately, we end on a tier. So, I'll give him this. PA is an actual element. That is, I believe is that promethium or is that protactinium? I forget which one it is. Let me look that up real quick. It's one of those heavy radioactive elements. PA element. Yeah, it's protactinium. So that's real. I'll give him that. I don't think it would adopt that bonding configuration, but that's not good. Have to go now. Thanks, Chris, for sitting through a weird chemistry rant after some cool X7 stuff. Hope you have some good food, and have a good night. But the obvious flaw here, at least if you've been paying attention to, you know, the previous stuff I've talked about, oxygen has way too many bonds. 3 was bad. 4 is unjustifiable. 3 you could maybe justify as an oxygen that needs a plus sign on it and it's deficient. 4 bonds on an oxygen is unthinkable. It is awful. Next, I'll point out that I just have I have a couple bonds in red here just because these were the ones that were cut off by the actual menu screen. So I kind of speculated as to what it looked like, but I'm guessing that this is what they were probably they had written down in like the original proofs or something. We have again the weird pentagon, not the worst thing, but it definitely contributes to the negative rating. Having ozone as a just end group, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Ozone normally looks like this. Let's see. So we have a weird, let's see. 2 electrons there, oxygen plus, then we have 6 extra ones on the outside, oxygen minus, and then we have a neutral oxygen on one end. This does not really connect to the rest of the structure. Ozone's a real thing, but you don't really find it bonded this way, so one of the oxygens is too many bonds again, and we're back to the same problem as like this, so that's not good. Also, again, a weird coincidence, both of the things that kind of got me mad but not into war crime territory, they both just had free floating stuff off to the side. This one ranks a little bit lower for me than the other one because, well, methane is stable, and technically this is also stable, being thioformaldehyde, which would look like this. This is something that would readily polymerize into a ring structure in the real world. Trithioformaldehyde is a useful structure for, I don't know, something. Probably the biology people use it, I don't know. They do some weird shit. And then also, once again, CH3, that would be a perfectly good group to terminate this bond in. But what is this A underscore shit? I don't know. So, yeah, that's all 9 of them ranked. I had to get those absolutely schizo thoughts out of my head. I'm glad that, I hope that it brought you some entertainment, even if it was complete gibberish to you. Overall, there was a much more even spread than I thought when I had first looked at the background for all these. I did not expect to actually find 2 that I was like, oh yeah, you know what? I could accept that. That would be reasonable, even if I have to make an assumption or 2. And, you know, only 2 with some, I won't say minor errors, but minor in terms of a random intern who doesn't know anything about chemistry just making chemistry art being. You know, we have 5 things that were kind of like not good, but, you know, I'll take 5 out of 9 being terrible as compared to 4 out of 9 being terrible any day. So yeah, I don't know. There's my official rank for the MegaManX 7 background chemicals. Hope you found this entertaining or meaningful in any way. Added a little bit of joy to your life, perhaps. Let's see, you completely forgot that polymerization implies a chemical change, therefore making all Yu-Gi-Oh! Fusion monsters created through chemical transformation. I mean, how else are you going to get, was it like Metal Dragon number 2 or whatever? It's combining like train cars with the dragon. It's gotta have that steel skin. Your brain hurty. You know, that's par for the course, right? It's okay, you didn't have to understand. What was important here is that you got my energy, and you got me being, you know, riled up about something I'm passionate about. And that's what, you know, that's what fans and friends are all about. So, I think that is a good place for me to end tonight. Unless there's any other things that we need to go over. I think that was good. X7, I'm glad to be moving on from it. I'm glad to be done with it. It was fun to get a nice look at the early stuff. Oh, come on, YouTube. It was fun to get a good look at the early builds of X7. You know, like I said, it was cool to just kind of see how the UI was crap in the first, you know, in that earlier version. It got better later on. It was kind of sad to see that they just removed the double damage stuff from Axel and Zero. Maybe they thought it was just something they wanted to do so that way the E3 lines would keep moving, but actually that was a good idea for the game's balancing purposes. Yeah, I don't know. It's just cool to see the development of the game. I don't really have a strong desire to ever play X7 again, but, you know, here we are. So, yeah, with that, I'm gonna be ending stream for the day. Hope you all liked it. We'll be playing more Doom 2 tomorrow, and I think that'll be a good experience. Certainly one a little bit better than this. And then next week, unless Providence shines again and we somehow get a 2005, or not 2005, like a 2002 alpha build of X7, we're gonna be moving on to X8 next week. And hopefully that'll be more fun than X7 was for me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to more Doom 2 tomorrow as well. Maybe I'll actually find a super shotgun so I can use it and rectify the death that I had early on. But for now, that's going to be a night. What am I saying here? For now, I'm going to call it a night for me, and I will see you all tomorrow for some fun stuff. So, have a good night. Brush your teeth, bitch. Eat your vegetables. I'm not gonna come up with a better slogan than that for right now. I still need to workshop this. Send me your slogan suggestions in the comments below, please. I need a good outro. All right, bye.